given the relevance of what's going on in Ukraine, in your view, to our region? Does it worry you? And what are you hearing from the Navy chiefs from the AUKUS nations about this language we're hearing out of Washington and out of the presidential campaign around potentially removing support for Ukraine?
Well, I think Ukraine is a very important theatre. What happens in Ukraine will represent, as I said earlier, lessons that will be learnt across the world and in the Indo-Pacific. And that was really clear when I was attending NATO just a couple of weeks ago, and the American position was also very clear there. I mean, they are seized with the significance of what's playing out in Ukraine. And again, you see that in the supplemental support that was provided by the United States earlier in the year to the effort in Ukraine, which has been fundamental to Ukraine moving forward. We had the opportunity of meeting President Zelensky amongst the countries of the IP4, which is the Korea, Japan, New Zealand and ourselves, and we made very clear how significantly we regarded what was playing out in Ukraine for the Indo-Pacific and how committed we were to Ukraine being able to resolve this conflict on its own terms. I think
so. Does it worry you some of the
right across NATO?
Some of the messages from JD Vance and others in terms of Ukraine?
As I say, I think Ukraine is fundamentally important, and America has a critically important role to play in relation to Ukraine, and we will continue to provide that advocacy to the United States. But as I say, in all the dealings that we have with the United States, I think they have shown real leadership in supporting Ukraine.
For viewers who might be watching and looking at the drama in the United States, I think many would be saying, how firm is the foundation upon which AUKUS is built? Given the drama we're seeing in the US, given the uncertainty, what gives you confidence that AUKUS gives you confidence in the future of AUKUS?
Yeah, well, firstly, it's a really important question, and I can understand that question being not only asked by you, but being asked within the community. We've got to respect the processes in America. I mean, we are a democracy ourselves, and part of being a democracy is having the space to go through an electoral process and allow a government to be chosen by the will of the people, and that's what we're seeing play out in America, and of course we're all riveted by it. But it's really important that we give America the space to go through their own process. That's what it is to respect them as a democracy. But in answer to your question about why I have confidence, it's really because we got a concrete example of where all the major strands in the political discourse stand in respect of AUKUS in December of last year. And that's when the package of legislation was put before the Congress, which enabled both AUKUS Pillar 1 and Pillar 2. This was passed with bipartisan support across the political spectrum in the United States, not just Democrats but Republicans as well, and Trump Republicans in that number. Every engagement we've had with the Trump camp in the normal process of speaking with people on both sides of politics in America, that there is support for what is playing out in relation to AUKUS. So we do have a sense of confidence that irrespective of what occurs in November of this year, we can firstly look forward to the alliance being as strong as ever, and secondly that the equities that we have within that alliance, AUKUS being front and centre, will be maintained.
Are you hearing from the Navy chiefs that the timetable you want for the first rotations, I think from memory it's 2027 for the Virginia-class subs, is that on schedule?
It is, and we're really pleased with how AUKUS is developing, but specifically that component of AUKUS, which is the establishment of the Submarine Rotational Force West, to which you've alluded. I mean, there's the actual starting point was to see an increased number of visits of Virginia-class submarines and nuclear-powered submarines to Australia, and we've been seeing that since the announcement of AUKUS, and we will see that over the coming months here in WA. And every time that occurs, we're doing more work on those nuclear submarines, we're becoming more familiar with them, we are readying ourselves for the establishment of the Submarine Rotational Force West in a few years' time. And we are really confident that that is on track. Every milestone is being met. And the reason it is because there is a deep sense of commitment amongst all three countries about the importance of this. And, you know, in answer further to the previous answer, that commitment is bipartisan in all three countries. At the end of NATO, I had the opportunity of coming back home through Britain, and I met John Healey, the new Secretary of Defence in the new UK government. I mean, there is support for AUKUS there across the political spectrum in the United Kingdom, and all the milestones that we were seeking to meet are being maintained and intend to be maintained by the new Starmer government. So we are really confident of how it's progressing, and that confidence is underpinned by the commitment that exists across all three countries.